Hey guys, this is Chris. I'm an indie hacker from Germany that recently moved to South Korea. I've worked on quite a few projects in the past and just recently started gaining some traction, and I even got some of my first revenue, as you can see here. So I thought I'd just share my journey up until now and hopefully also in the future. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, here we go. Yeah, so this is pretty much where my journey with programming began. This is some nice Visual Basic where I could like create some forms and some buttons and see how things worked. So this is pretty much what got me into programming. And I guess the next step, if you read a little bit, you can maybe tell this is like creating my own Minecraft mods, like my own crafting recipes and so on. So I was still quite young back then, but this was like a great introduction to actually make some changes you can see in the like real world with code. So this was very interesting. This is my old flat in Berlin. I started studying computer science after school at the TU Berlin. Here you can see an image I took of the room where I spent a lot of time, sometimes struggling with coding problems until like 5 a.m. in the morning, ordering Chinese food into the university. Good times. Here is my first office of my first job, which was just like a very tiny e-commerce store with three people, including me, where I could get some like work experience, where I started like automating some stuff with Java, like creating Excel lists that I had to do manually before, just kind of trying to save me some time until I actually had my first real programming job, with daily stand-ups and like enterprise Java code. And yeah, this actually taught me how to do proper programming, not only doing what I felt was right on my own. So for my master's, I actually came to South Korea. This is, as you can see here on the bus, KAIST, Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, where I was at the Department of Artificial Intelligence. I had a great time, met a lot of interesting people, learned the language, and I can only recommend going abroad if you're still at university. It's a great time. This is the campus. As you can see, it's really beautiful. It was great to study here, but also work on like some of my own projects on the side. But I couldn't stay here for more than half a year. But I really loved it so much that I applied as a visiting student. So next, I went to Seoul to Yonsei University, which is also absolutely beautiful. Here you can see my great haircut back then. I don't know what happened, but that's okay. Yeah, it was also a really great experience. So, what happened next? During that time, I also applied for the Oasis program here in Korea, which is kind of like a startup preparation program where you also get a visa to stay here, which was the most important thing to me, but also very fitting because I thought maybe I'll found a company here. I'm very interested in this like startup ecosystem. So I got my certificates here and I could like get my visa and extend it a couple of times. And yeah, I'm still on that same visa, but it's running out in a couple of months. Let's see if I'm founding a company here or not. And yeah, so this is the first thing I've worked on, which is Render Lab, Blender rendering for everyone. For my master's thesis, I had to do some AI training, which I did in the cloud. And at the same time, got kind of interested in like 3D modeling. That sounds kind of cool. So I thought, for both of them, I need like really good GPUs. And I kind of put the two together. And I was like, what if I just rent GPUs in the cloud and let people like pay me a little bit of money to render their Blender projects in the cloud. So that's what I tried. I learned a lot. This was like the biggest project I've ever attempted, and it actually ended up working quite well. But yeah, was the first experience with like it's not enough to have a working product. You need marketing, and I was absolutely not good at marketing at all. So in the end, I never made any money with this. Recently, it's still getting like two visitors a day. but nothing major. Yeah, the next one, I actually wasn't quite sure if I was going to include it in here, but I think I should be open and honest about everything. Some of you might know about this Virally bot. This was a project made by Mark Liu, which is a guy I really look up to. And yeah, he explained in a video how he made this project. It's like a chatbot for escape rooms. It's kind of like a marketing strategy. So these escape rooms can get more bookings. And he said he had to stop it because of COVID and was not working on it anymore. And at that time, I was kind of frustrated, like, I need some kind of new project, and he's not working on it, so it might be fine. So instead of Virally Bot, I made Enigma Bot, which is basically exactly the same thing. Um, yeah, I learned a lot again. For example, how horrible it is to work with APIs by Meta, and I never want to do it again. But this one also worked. I also did some cold outreach, um, but again, I was not that successful. I think maybe if I sticked with it, it could have worked out because Mark already showed that it's possible. But I'm not the most outgoing guy, and I kind of hated this cold outreach and forcing it on people. So I also stopped working on this after a short time. Next for me was don't waitlist. It's kind of like a wordplay. People make waitlists to see if there's interest for the project they might want to build. But this one was kind of trying to bring people to not wait a lot, but just sign up right away and kind of increase the hype around a product by giving these kind of rewards for signing up early. So here you can see if you are in the top like first 10 people that sign up, you can get it for free, and the next 90 people they get the first year free, and then the next people get the first month free. And this was completely customizable. So it's like kind of like a waitlist as a service, and you can add the rewards. And yeah, this was the plan, but apparently it was also not that popular, or I still sucked too much at marketing. You can see a kind of red line through this video that I worked on stuff, and then when I didn't get a bunch of users right away, I went and continued with the next one. So everybody starts somewhere, I guess. So what was next? Next we had Zendan. Daily planner without the overwhelm. Following in my theme of like copying other things. It was actually, maybe you have heard of Sunsama or Samsama. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like a new way of like task planning where you can actually put like how long do I think this will take, and then you see, oh, I already planned like 7 hours for this day. That might be enough. Let's put the next task somewhere else. So this was basically a copy of that, which also I was quite happy with. But again, I couldn't bring people to really use it. So that was that. Then almost most recently, I got into Product Lab. I like naming my startups with lab in the end, render lab in the beginning, now Product Lab. And I finally dabbled with AI, which is like people in e-commerce, which is like where I kind of come from. I showed you that office of that tiny e-commerce store. They have pictures, but they don't want to spend a lot of money on professional images to kind of get the user to buy. So I worked on like an AI workflow that I ran in the cloud where people just upload it and write a description, and they could get like a finished image which looks much more visually appealing. So this time I was really sure it was gonna work out. I was so proud of this. But again, I did a lot of cold outreach. I even like almost fully automated it and sent people finished pictures of their own products. But that's like an own video I could make. If you've ever tried doing cold outreach to German customers, it's interesting. Let's just say I was threatened with the cyber police, which I still cannot believe, but yeah, this was that, and I was so burned out at this point because, as you can see, I've worked on quite a few products and I've never had any real traction, and I was not sure if it's ever going to work out for me. And yeah, I just took some time off and thought, I mean, I'm fine with coding, but I'm not fine with working on something that I don't feel has a future. So at this point, I just started working on some tiny projects that I could finish like in a day or two, just to get my mind off of things. So the first thing I was working on was actually kind of like a lead magnet for Product Lab, rembg.click. Basically, you can just choose any image you might have. Let's just try this one. And then you can say, okay, let's do quick or high quality remove. I'm just going to do it quickly. And yeah, it's going to remove the background for you, completely free forever. No sign up, no validation, no nothing. And I was hoping that this would eventually lead people to Product Lab, because it's kind of like the same group of people that might be interested in it. But let's see the result here. Yeah, you see it kind of worked. It was maybe a little bit of a more complex image. If it's just like an image of like a soap dispenser or something, it usually worked quite well. And we also have this high quality remove. So that was something I worked on, like I think for a day or something, with a replicator in the background. It wasn't that difficult. What did I work on next? This was kind of around the time where I got into X and Twitter a lot more. So I sometimes saw some tweets where it looks kind of like a quote from a book, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could like put my own text and it would look like a quote from a book, and then maybe I could get some more likes or something. So this is kind of that. It's not perfect, but you can set it up the way you want, and then you can just download the image and post it. So actually, for the people that might know me in my profile picture, you know, I used it for my header, and I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, that was kind of the last product before I finally got some success in also like the monetary sense. Yeah, the breakthrough for me was basically TinyLaunch. So far, we've had almost 7,000 visitors, close to $700 in revenue. And yeah, compared to zero that I've had for years before, I'm super happy that I finally found something that is kind of working. This is the website. It's basically a product hunt clone. So you can launch your product. You can see here's the current launch week. Get some upvotes, comments, and then the top 3 products will get a backlink from TinyLaunch, and they also get a badge for their website. And yeah, it's a way for people to promote their startups, and yeah, they pay me for advertising space in the top, or for some premium launches to skip the queue, or to get this premium badge. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. And it's helped me really also grow my audience, because before, like maybe 2 months ago, I was like at 60 followers. Now I'm really close to 1,000, so I think I'm gonna hit that very soon. And yeah, I'm basically posting a lot of my success stories or failures or what I learned along the way. So here you can see, like if I say, oh, I made like $15 on Stripe, then I get quite a few impressions and interactions, and this has really helped me grow my Twitter audience. Um, I also started like a TinyLaunch newsletter called TinyLog, where I show some of the winners and some personal picks and maybe a tweet I liked. Yeah, that's basically it. So here you can see the first issue of the newsletter. You know, there's just some like a short introduction, what's new on TinyLaunch, who won, what was like my personally favorite product, and the tweet I liked, and then you know, asking for some feedback. It's very simple, short and sweet. That goes out to all TinyLaunch users. So here's my Stripe dashboard. You can see I made 3 sales yesterday, nothing today so far, but I've also not posted on X in a while. So yeah, you can see Succeeded payments, it's been growing. I'm really happy with it, especially since I came from zero. In the balances, you can see it was like a total of 614 euro. Some of it is not available to pay out just yet. But yeah, these transactions are quite regular, and I'm very, very excited about the future of this product. Yeah, and here the newsletter I send out, you can see the performance of it. Over 40% opened it so far, with like a click-through rate of 17% and an unsubscribe rate of just over 8%. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, this newsletter will also keep growing over time. So I'll keep you updated on what's happening here. So that was like a short introduction to me, my life, and what I'm doing right now. I'm very excited about the future. I'll keep working on TinyLaunch. I also have an idea for another product. I'm happy to answer any questions about what I've experienced so far. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.